Don't forget to donate to the hashtag Daytona Dream 2019 GoFundMe for your chance in January to win one of these 3 Kevin Harvick diecast. Now enjoy the video. And then there were 10. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we get ready for our final elimination race of the playoffs. It's playoff race number 4, overall race number 19 for Division 1 of the NCAA Skittles Super Speedway Series. This is going to be the race that's going to determine who's going to be in the Final 4 for Division 1, the Final 4 for Division 2, culminating to our Elite 8 battling for the championship in next week's season finale at Canyonland Super Speedway. Originally, we were supposed to go to Pigsport, but Pigsport didn't bring about very good racing when I tested it out. And then we were supposed to go to Hogzilla, but it ended up being a complete caution fest. It was a 15-lap race, and let's just say we ran 12 of those 15 laps under the caution, so that whole idea was scrapped as well. So we are here today at a debuting track nonetheless. This is Manassas Super Speedway as we get ready to find out who is going to be able to conquer this 2-mile super speedway and move on to the next round of the playoffs, and who is going to join the ranks of Brady Burkhart, Ashlyn Boyd, and Sebastian Cucalon as eliminated from the playoffs here at the very last minute. It comes down to Jessica Shelton, Ryan Butcher, a couple of 2-time winners, Trent Dunham, who's the highest starting of our playoff contenders here today, rolling off from 4th place, and comes into this race the overall points leader in the standings, J Millz, who is going to be the 2nd highest starting of the playoff drivers, rolling off from 5th place, and Vance Caldwell in the 16th. As a matter of fact, we've got, I believe, 3 of our 5 playoff contenders up here in the top 10, as Ryan Butcher will roll off from the 8th position outside of row 4. Remember, for these drivers, it's all about finishing position. The lowest finishing driver of the 5 remaining playoff contenders will be eliminated, and the 4 highest finishers will be the 4 representatives to battle for the championship next week at Canyonland. They will take on the other 4 drivers in Division 2 that make it in tomorrow night's race.
Drivers, start your engines.
As the command is given, Tristan Fowlkes lines up on the pole for the 2nd time this season. That ties him with Austin LaPlante for most poles here in Division 1. And the pace car will lead the field around this 2-mile super speedway. 30 laps of racing, so as far as the fuel window goes, they cannot make it the full scheduled distance without coming to pit road. So if we do manage to go clean and green for the entirety of this race, green flag pit stops will come into play, and so that will put the pressure on the men down on pit lane. So as mentioned, after the first elimination race, Brady Burkhart was eliminated from the playoffs. After race 2, Ashlyn Boyd, who had taken the checker flag the week before, got eliminated, and last week at Seattle saw the departure of Sebastian Cucalon, who not only got eliminated from the playoffs last week, but took a wild barrel roll as well. So for 5 drivers, they're out there trying to get the best finish they can. For the other 35 drivers, they're out there trying to finish out the season with either their first, 2nd, or for a couple of them, 3rd win of the season. So the question is, who are the 4 that are going to move on to the next round from this round? Tomorrow night, we're going to find out if they'll be joined by Charles Sanford, Fury Gamington, Alex Banyako, John Andrews, or Nathan Stapleton. And we are about ready to go. This track very much reminds me of kind of like a Michigan in the way that it looks. But it is going to run like a super speedway, so get ready as we will see them probably 3 wide and probably attempting 4 wide early on. Green flag is out. Let's roll at Manassas. Of course, as a history buff, very familiar with Manassas, Virginia. Of course, that's where the 1st and 2nd battles of Bull Run took place during the Civil War. Right now, 1-2 for the Blue Ovals. Ciculli going to tuck in line in 2nd place, but here comes J Millz in the 6th. Right behind him, last week's winner, Andrew Miller, taking his first checker flag of the season at Seattle. Look at him go way down low there out of the exit of turn 4, trying to take that 2nd position. He's going to get alongside him going into turn 1 as they're 3 wide behind him. Shane Lake puts Diego Yepez in the middle. Ciculli way up top side, and now Miller trying to get to the left rear quarter panel of Tristan Fowlkes. This is for the race lead. course, we'll keep tabs on our 5 playoff drivers during the course of this race, and we've seen so many times in these playoff races where an early wreck takes place, involves 1 or 2 of our playoff contenders, they retire out of the race, and we know for the rest of the race that the 4 remaining drivers are going to be safe to make it into the final 4. I mean, will that be something that'll take place here? Shane Lake led that lap. Don't think he'll lead the next one, though, because now Qualls will take the top spot. And here comes Sebastian Cucalon with something to prove. Got eliminated from the playoffs last week at Seattle. Now he wants to try and pick up his 2nd win of the season. That's all he's looking for now, are trips to victory lane, as he knows he will be no longer competing for the championship this year. Gonna have to hold off another former winner in J Jefferson. These two gonna drag race to the line. It will be Jefferson by just about half a car length leading that lap. Seth Cole there on the inside, that Iron Chef America Chevrolet, now putting Johnny Gardner in the middle. He's gonna try and get to the inside down the back straightaway here at this point, 3 wide, several rows deep, but man, they're doing a good job keeping it clean, but boy, they're putting on a show for the fans as well. Nobody giving an inch. Seth Cole now out in front. He opens up the door down low. Zach Winkle going to try to the inside. These two going to have a drag race to the line. Which line's going to win? Inside, outside. It'll be the outside of Seth Cole. And now Jack Mitchell, 3 wide for the lead going into turn 1. J Millz back up here to the front again. Got shuffled back. Moves back up to the front. Jessica Shelton not too far back there as well. The 2-time winner. Only seeing right now 2 of our playoff contenders at least up close to the vicinity of the top 10, Millz and Shelton. Trying to look back, try and find Trent Dunham, Ryan Butcher, and Vance Caldwell. I don't see them just yet, but it's still early on. They could certainly make an appearance up here towards the front, especially near the closing stages, as William Duncan takes a turn out in front, the DeWalt Ford. And they are 4 wide here in the middle of the pack. That's Andrew Miller, J.J. Roberts, J.T. Bryant, Zach Winkle, and boy, that was weird. Did you guys see that, or was that just me? It looked like a little bit of a glitch there where Andrew Miller's left front glitched through the right rear of J.T. Bryant. By all rights, that probably should have been a hitbox marker where the 2 would have wrecked, but they didn't. And it's one of those few times where I'm very happy for a glitch, because right now, with the racing as good as it is, I don't want to see these cars torn up. How about this? It's good to be a yellow Ford out in front. Duncan, Rogers, and Bryant, 1, 2, 3. As now Jake Rogers going to look for the top spot. Jake Rogers comes into this race 38th in points. William Duncan comes into this race 39th. So both drivers would love to be able to get a victory here. Probably got inspired by last week's Division II race at Seattle. Jesse Turner in the Division II race went to victory lane and came into that race dead last in points. J.T. Bryant barely edged Jake Rogers the line that time. What if that had been the finish? Now Diego Yepez moves into 2nd place. Mentioned we saw Millz up here at the front. Shelton still up in the top 10 right now. Grabbing another driver of our playoff contenders starting to make his way towards the front steadily, and that is the 16 of Vance Caldwell now on the inside. He's close to cracking the top 10. He might be able to do so this lap. Let's wait and see on the ticker. Yepez and Bryant drag race. It'll be Yepez leading the lap, and Caldwell not quite in the top 10. Probably crossed the line. Oh, yes, he is. He's in 9th. Just had to wait for the ticker to update itself. 4 wide again there in the middle of the pack. That was Jessica Shelton in the middle of that time. They settled it out to 3 wide very quickly, which I'm certain Shelton's very grateful for, as she was in a bit of a hairy situation. There's Trent Dunham there in the 1, making a pass on J Millz. That's very important for him, because that now puts J Millz back in the 4th position as far as the playoff drivers. We haven't seen Ryan Butcher in the 76 up at the front yet. He's got some work to do. I don't know if he's riding or not, but can't ride for very long, because right now he would currently be in the elimination spot as far as the drivers that come into this race still in playoff contention. Now, he is on the inside line. J Millz is stuck on the outside line there in the 6th, you can see. And I think in this corner, Ryan Butcher might be able to make the pass on Millz, and that would move Millz back to the elimination spot. Jessica Shelton also caught up on the outside line there in the 0-2, so we could see a battle between her and J Millz for the final transfer spot momentarily. 4 wide again. Oh, it settled out to 3 wide. I think Ryan Butcher had to lift, though, because Ciculli had to lift to let J.J. Roberts back in. Jump back up to the front. R Rey in the 68, now under fire from Z Winkle. R Rey, a former winner, but of course remember his hardship back at Orlando when J Millz just barely edged him out by 1 point for the final spot in the playoffs. Millz has made good on it though, as he's been able to make it here at least into the round of 10 and trying to now make it into the final 4. Joshua Lee now going to take a turn out in front. Got Chevrolets in that inside line. Seth Cole there, and then Trent Dunham in the 1. First time we've seen the Sega Chevrolet up inside the top 5 today, and he does it just nearing the halfway point. It's going to be interesting to see when these drivers are going to have to come to pit road, because they cannot, we know, make it the full scheduled distance on 1 tank of fuel. Now, if my calculations are correct, with 30 laps and with it being 2 miles in length, I would say we're going to see these drivers probably hitting pit road somewhere between laps 16 to 19 to be able to make it the rest of the way, unless they can maybe stretch it a little bit further. But I think we're going to see some drivers potentially short pit. As Trent Dunham now enjoying the view out in front. Now, Trent Dunham, remember, a win, a good finish, up here at the front. Points don't gain you anything as far as making it into the next round of the playoffs. But Trent's also trying to win the overall regular season, or the overall season standings championship as far as being P1. Came into this race 10 points over Brady Burkhart and Ashland Boyd. So that bonus point that he got for leading a lap is certainly going to help him in that regard, as Andrew Miller trying to go for 2 wins in a row. He makes the pass on Trent Dunham. After his win last week, Andrew Miller ended up moving up in the point standings from 33rd to 26th. I believe it's the first time this season Andrew Miller has been in the top 30 in the standings. It just talks about what a struggle it's been for him. But we talk about so many times, momentum, and a win definitely gives drivers momentum. Andrew Miller looking very good right now this week. As how about Ryan Butcher? Just a few laps ago, we were talking about him back in an elimination spot. And now, at the midway point, we're talking about him up here with a chance of taking the race lead. He'll go to the inside of William Duncan. Will he get him at the line? It's going to be close. I think Duncan got it if my naked eye was correct. And Ticker agrees with me. It was Duncan by a splitter. Ryan Butcher now firmly in control of the top spot. Let's drop to the back, see who currently sits in the elimination spot. And right now it would be Jessica Shelton, although she's now on the inside line, trying to work her way back up to the front. Car on the outside line in trouble is Vance Caldwell in the 16. Shelton, if she stays down the bottom, she's going to pass Caldwell probably down here in turns 1 and 2, so that would move Caldwell back onto the elimination spot, as Cody Smart's going to lead that lap. I believe we're in the fuel window, so now the question is, when do these drivers decide to come to pit road? They're going over 200 miles per hour, 208 through the corner there, and they'll probably be over 210, yeah, maybe 215 down here into turn 3. Just barely hit 216 to Tristan Fowlkes, the pole sitter. So, I mean, how do you get from over 200 miles per hour down to the pit road speed, which I believe is 55 here at Manassas? Jack Mitchell takes a turn out in front, back in the Mountain Dew colors this week. Last couple of weeks was running that purple car, and didn't exactly come away with good finishes in either one of those races, at Seattle or the week before at Under Armour. Looking good right now in that Mountain Dew Camaro, as now battle will be for second between Ryan Butcher and Sebastian Cucalon. Surprised they've stretched it this far, at least for some drivers. Would have thought some drivers might be deciding to short pit, but nope, that's not the case. 3 wide for the lead. Shane Lake to the inside. And he'll take the lead out of turn 2. Here comes Andrew Miller, though, with a big run. He's got Matt Haas right behind him. How about Kyle Matthews up here in the top 10? First time we talk about him. Having a good run. Looks like J Millz making his way back up to the front. He's right behind James Qualls. I honestly think it's going to be this pit stop these drivers are going to have to make that's really going to determine who's going to be the final driver eliminated from the championship hunt. Because at this point, we haven't really seen anybody close to wrecking each other, and as soon as I say that, they go 4 wide. Mills, Qualls, Ciculli, and Lake, they settle it back out to 3 wide off of turn 2. I mean, the field's going to get somewhat split up, I would think, when they make the pit stops. Matter of fact, maybe the pit stops will in another way affect who's going to be the one eliminated, and that's if we have drivers wrecking trying to come to pit road. William Duncan, second time that I can recall him being out in front here today. That's another driver that's struggling in the points, as we mentioned, 39th in the standings, and they're 4 wide again. Qualls again in the middle with J Millz. Ooh, they're going to get it settled out this time? Just barely. Qualls was able to clear J Millz, otherwise they would have been 4 wide off of turn 2. Gotta say, it's been great racing, though, all the way through the field. And at this point, I think everybody is still up here in this lead pack as well. I don't think anybody's really lost the draft. There you see Brady Burkhart at the tail end. 40th place, but still in the draft. Right now, the driver in the elimination spot would be... Boy, I don't know. They're all up close to the front here. Looks like it would be Vance Caldwell currently. And here we go, pit stops. And a number of your playoff contenders coming down on this lap. Dunham, Caldwell, Ryan Butcher, J Millz. Is Shelton in this group? No, she's the odd man out, so to speak, as she is the only one of the playoff contenders that's going to stay out an extra lap. There she is. Trying to go outside the box. Oh, caution's out. Did they wreck trying to get onto pit road? If they did, I don't see it. I don't know why they threw the caution, but the caution is out. And the one person that did not want to see that, oh, yep, they had to spin up there in turn 4. I don't know who it was, but somebody wrecked in turn 4. Looks like some communication problems with drivers trying to get onto pit lane there. And we've got some drivers staying out? I don't understand that. Well, as I was going to say, the one driver that really did not want to see that caution come out was Jessica Shelton, because now all those drivers that came to pit road just before the caution come out will probably cycle around ahead of her. Then again, she might be able to get off pit road and still maintain good track position. We're going to have to wait and see what they have for the running order, so maybe that call to stay out the extra lap is actually going to be really good for Jessica Shelton. But Tristan Fowlkes, the pole sitter, last week's winner Andrew Miller, Zachary Taylor and Austin LaPlante, they decided to stay out. Are they going to try and save fuel here? I don't think they can. It's going to be 6 laps to go when they hit the line next time by. We're probably going to get about a 4, maybe 3 lap shootout. I don't think they can save enough fuel here under pacing, so I highly question this strategy. Look at this. Shelton's going to restart at least in the 6th position, so what a call to stay out that extra lap. Let's go back and see what brought out the caution. Apparently an incident in turn 4 when drivers tried to make it onto pit road under green flag conditions. And the car to which those skid marks belonged was the 94 of Cody Smart. Let's take a look and see what happens here as you see them all trying to get down to the inside line, trying to come to pit road, and just right there. I don't know if Cody was trying to come to pit lane or not, but Johnny Gardner was to his inside. Spins up the track right in front of Brady Burkhart, who might have gotten clipped, might have brushed the wall as well. That's some pretty hard damage there on the rear of the 94 of Cody Smart. And it could have been a lot worse if Brady Burkhart had made contact. So tough break there for Cody. He's got some pretty extensive damage on his Best Buy Ford. And that was enough to bring out the caution and sets us up for a restart with less than 10 laps to go. Well, I still don't understand the strategy. When we got the 1 to green signal, Tristan Fowlkes, Austin LaPlante, Andrew Miller, and Zachary Taylor all came to pit road. So they are going to be restarting at the very rear of the field, so they gave up track position to stay out that extra lap. They would have been smarter coming to pit lane when William Duncan, Jessica Shelton, and others did, because they're going to be lining up here inside of the top 10. It'll be Duncan with the lead, Shelton in second, Joshua Lee third, Matt Haas fourth, Ryan Butcher fifth. So right now Shelton and Butcher in a good spot to advance into the final 4. Then it's Jake Rogers 6th, 7th is R Rey, 8th is going to be Eli Bright, 9th is Vance Caldwell, so he's in a good spot currently, and Kyle Matthews completes the top 10. So 3 of our 5 playoff drivers up inside the top 10. That leaves the question mark of where are the other 2 drivers, those being Trent Dunham and J Millz. Where are they going to restart? Well, Millz currently is in 11th. Trent Dunham's got some work to do. He's going to have to work his way up from 25th place, and he's going to have to do it with 4 laps to go. Nobody out of the race after the incident we saw. Cody Smart will restart back in 34th, and there you see Miller, Fowlkes, Taylor, and LaPlante 37th down through 40th. I don't think they can make their way to the front in 4 laps, but then again, stranger things have happened. We'll have to wait and see if that'll be the case. So who's going to win here? We went, what was it, almost 20 laps? 22 laps under green. I think we can finish these final 4 laps under green, but it's going to be a wild 4 laps as the green flag's back in the air here at Manassas. I'd love to be able to have an in-car camera to watch Trent Dunham, see if he's going to be able to march his way through the field, get up there at least to J Millz, who restarted in 11th. Because that's the car he has to target right now in order to make it into the next round of the playoffs. Battle will be for second up here at the front. Joshua lead to the inside of Jessica Shelton. If they start getting racing side by side and 3 wide, that's going to make a better opportunity for Trent Dunham to pick up positions. 3 laps to go. This time by Duncan continues to lead. We're going to drop to the back just to find the one of Trent. There he is, and right now he's trapped up on the outside line. That is not where he needs to be. Chances of moving on in the playoffs slipping away from the Sega Chevrolet. Looks like Cody Smart held up drivers back there like Fowlkes, Miller, Taylor, and LaPlante. So I think they're even more considering they shouldn't have stayed out that extra lap. As now Joshua Lee will look for the top position. Ryan Butcher right there as well in the 76 as these drivers continue to battle. Trying to look to see if any of our playoff contenders are caught in the outside line. Shelton seems to be okay. There's Millz, there's Caldwell. These drivers all up still inside the top 15. The driver that is in big trouble right now is Trent Dunham, and time is running out. The driver that comes into this race, the overall points leader, may not be contending for the championship next week at Canyonland. Ryan Butcher now to the point. Eli Bright going to battle for second. Shelton's right there as well. This time by, they will see the white flag. 1 more lap to go here at Manassas. Bright's going to lead that lap. Here comes Shane Lake up the inside line, putting Shelton and Butcher 3 wide. Can he get a good enough run down the back straightaway here to maybe get to the inside of Eli Bright and make it a battle to the finish? He'll slot into second place. Can he get to the inside of Bright going into 3? Here comes J Millz, Vance Caldwell with a big run. Through turns 3 and 4, Eli Bright, the lone dodge in the field. Can he get it done here today? Yes, he can. Eli Bright's going to take his first checker flag of the season. He wins at Manassas. Millz gets 3rd, Caldwell gets 4th, Shelton gets 5th, Butcher gets 8th. Trent Dunham will be eliminated from the playoffs here today. We have our final 4 in Division 1. Millz, Shelton, Caldwell, and Butcher. And Eli Bright, the lone dodge. All his other Gamington Motorsports teammates are over in Division 2. He beats the odds here today. It's his first win of his Skittles Super Speedway Series career. And I'm curious to know, Trent restarted back in 25th. Did he make up any progress at all on those last 4 laps? Answer is no. He lost 3 spots and finished in 28. So while Trent still may have an opportunity to win the overall season point standings, he will not be winning the championship in the chase for the championship, as he is going to be the final driver here in Division 1 that will be eliminated, joining Brady Burkhart, Ashlyn Boyd, and Sebastian Cucalon. Talk about getting the finishes when it mattered most. The final 4 drivers are all in the top 10. Millz finished in 3rd, Caldwell in 4th, Shelton in 5th, and Butcher in 8th. But it's Eli Bright who'll be going to victory lane here today with the win. Shane Lake brings it home in 2nd. Diego Yepez, great run for him there in 6th. Jake Rogers, well-needed run for a driver, 39th in points. He finishes 7th. Jack Mitchell will finish the day out in 9th. And completing your top 10 was Matt Haas. Look on down through the rest of the finishing results here, and I look back at LaPlante, Taylor, Fowlkes, and Miller. Boy, they were 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th when the caution came out, when they decided to stay out that extra lap, and then they finished the day out 36, 37, 38, and 39. So definitely think that they questioned the call that was made, and it did not culminate to good finishes for any of them. Cody Smart did manage to finish on the lead lap, but way back there, he was the only car that was really damaged in this race when he was wrecked due to the green flag pit stops going awry on pit road entry, and he was our only caution of the day. But that is it. We now know who are going to be the final four, at least for Division 1, heading into next week's championship race at Canyonland. It's going to be Shelton, Butcher, Millz, and Caldwell who are going to be the final four that are going to battle them in Division 2. We'll find that out tomorrow night. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Manassas. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to get part of the crew today. We have shown your full finisher results. These are your overall point standings, and these are your updated playoff points. You can see their final four: Shelton, Caldwell, Millz, and Butcher. They will battle for the championship next week alongside of 4 drivers from Division 2. We'll find out who those will be tomorrow night. Till then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of the SRA Offline Racing at its best.